Kia ora, Koia. So could you please introduce yourself?
Morena. I'm Gemmah. I hail from the East Coast. I'm in 60-ish, and my tūkapi is koia.
Kia ora. So let's speak to that. You're from the East Coast. Whereabouts exactly?
I was born in Gisborne.
How was that?
Yeah, pretty good. I was brought up on a farm, and well, we had everything. Well, I thought, food, shelter, yeah.
Who was in your immediate whānau back then?
Mum, dad, brother, sister,
Okay.
whāngai family, yeah.
So was it a big house or was it?
Yeah, it was a
everybody coming
huge old villa on the farm.
to- Okay.
Yeah, about 50, 60 miles from Gisborne.
Okay. What was living like that on a farm? Living in a farm and moving to Auckland eventually. What was that culture shock? It must have been crazy.
Oh gosh, yeah, it was. Nationalities didn't have a place in Gisborne, where I was brought up. Suddenly it became relevant once I moved to Auckland. It was a culture shock as big as.
Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly there were people that looked like me talking a totally different language. It sounded like Māori, but,
Are you
wasn't.
talking specifically about our Pacific Islander whānaus
Yeah.
up here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So who did you move up here with?
My family located to here in Maniriwa. We
Okay.
came to Maniriwa.
Okay.
Chasing the dollar because my parents worked on the farm. Yeah. My father was a shepherd. Yeah.
Growing up in Gisborne, was it an easy time for you? How was it like growing up in that environment?
Well, it only became, if we're talking about my sexuality, I suppose that came to the forefront when I was at school. Yeah.
High school?
Being
or-
called sissy and, primary, college.
Primary, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how was it navigating that world at that particular time in high school? Because we all know how mean kids can be.
Yeah, I just lashed out. Yeah.
Any particular moments that you can recall?
Not really, I can't.
You mentioned growing up and being more feminine, then going to high school and often being picked on for this. Did that affect how you viewed yourself?
No, not really. I didn't know what really the impact was until, I kind of realised, okay, I saw myself. Yeah.
When was that?
Yeah, must have been 10-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it like a hallelujah coming to God moment? Or?
Well, honestly, no, I didn't even know what it was really.
Yeah. When you're that young and you've got all these conflicting feelings of how, like, you see somebody similar to you and they're living in a particular way and you're not particularly the same as them. It, as a child, for me, I guess it's confusing for quite some time. Did you feel like you dealt with that in a confused state, or were you just like, I'm fabulous?
Well, yeah, I thought I was fabulous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
and I had a friend at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was going to be my sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our next minute,
What?
he's got 10 kids and now.
He's got 10 kids.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got a
okay.
growing family. We still kind of keep in touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess it's that bravery, eh? Like, if you... Like, I find us to be quite brave and as warriors almost, pursuing our truth. And sometimes some people, like, potentially aren't able to go through it. What do you say to those people?
Well, that's them.
Yeah.
That's their life. That's their business. You know,
Yeah.
if they can't, if it wasn't meant to be, well then, yeah.
Were you close with your whānau? Are you close with your whānau?
Oh, I've had them around me all my life, really.
Okay.
My siblings, yeah. Yeah.
How did they treat you growing up?
Well, when I moved to Wellies, can we jump there?
When did you move to Wellies? The first time?
1978-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you?
16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes? Please speak to it.
Well, my father died in 1978. We buried him back in Gisborne. My second eldest brother was bringing me back to Auckland because we lived here in Leebank. And I got to the drive and I said to him, I don't want to go home. So he just reversed and off back to Hamilton where he lived. I was there for a couple of months. And my cousin asked me if I wanted to go and visit my other brother in Wellington. Off I went. Never looked back.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
And how did he receive you?
My brother, he was great until I told him I wanted to be like Carmen.
Because I do hear that you did see her
Yeah,
on the road once.
when we were able to drive down Manners Mall,
Yeah.
we saw her walking towards us. And he must have known I was looking at her. And he goes, you know that person over there? And we, yeah, the one in red?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Male?
Okay.
Oh, you know, all the lights went on. And, oh,
Like her traffic lady.
I want to be like that. Yeah, like a traffic light, eh? Yeah.
And so you said you wanted to be like that. What was his reaction?
Told me to get out the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
shocked.
And so he left you there. You had to walk home.
Yeah.
Did he come around eventually? Surely.
Yeah, about a year later, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I couldn't get rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you first come out to your... Oh, well, come out is such a... I think it's such an ugly word, but when did you begin the journey of that
About
with your whānau?
later that year.
And what was their reaction?
Well, he was still in shock.
Yeah.
It took about, just over a year or so.
Yeah.
I was able to go. He goes, I want to see you. But yeah, it took him a little while to get over it.
Yeah. When he did see you, what was the reception? Was it a good reuniting?
Yeah,
of
yeah.
whānau?
He just said, "Oh, come here, you." Yeah,
That's all they need, eh?
yeah. They just got to get over the initial shock, eh?
Yeah, especially our tāne and our whānau. I think all they need is time. Time to get used to it.
And I was willing to give it to him.
Yeah, it's jarring at first, but I mean, they're going to have to get over it eventually.
Yeah, and I loved him. He was cool to me after that.
Yeah.
It jolted me into actually making up my mind.
Okay.
Because before I saw Carmen, I didn't think it was a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you saw her, that was quite a monument moment for you, wasn't it?
For sure.
Because
For sure.
I mean, or her and her fabulous red.
Fabulous, and your cleavage standing out a mile.
Can you describe what she looked like that day?
Oh, she had a long chiffon black jacket with her bright red long dress, flower in the hair, and hair up to the roof.
And you just went,
oh,
that is...
wow, yeah. I just went, wow, that's me.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is beautiful. By the way, I just want to step back for one question. You really loved school, didn't you?
I did. I enjoyed school.
But you left school quite early. What was that journey like, to having to leave something that you loved quite a lot?
I left school so I could smoke. My parents wouldn't let me smoke unless I was buying them myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they
So you
said,
got a job, so you
yeah,
can do this.
get a job, and you can, yeah.
So you've been working.
Since I was about, 16, 15.
Describe working as a trans woman. I mean, it's not always easy for us. A lot of us have to take measures that we don't necessarily want to, or we do want to. How was it working in a time where people just weren't hiring us?
Yeah, that was hard. You had to really, well, I did a few courses. I thought I wanted to get into food and that. And then I worked in Takeaway Bar that belonged to a friend of ours.
Okay.
And yeah, there was only like helping out jobs.
Yeah.
Couldn't get, once I became Gemmah, jobs just weren't around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there anything that you had to resort to
Survive?
sustain yourself, to survive? Yeah.
Oh, street work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
street work.
Yeah. Was that an easy experience for you, or it's never easy? But I guess.
No, well, the actual work wasn't easy, but I got to be around my sisters. So it was more about that, really. That, but at the end of the day, we got rent to pay, so had to go do something about that.
Yeah. So I hear that a lot. Is that's when you gain a strong sisterhood. Is there any particular sisters that you remember that you still talk to today?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yes, there's quite a few of us that are still above ground.
Yeah.
We're still communicating. Can I say their names? First names?
First names, yeah. Completely up to you. We don't want to...
I have got some close friends that we have been friends since we were 18.
Okay.
And my best friend is Chanel
Okay.
from Wellies.
Yeah.
Another one is Renee. And we're still friends today.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all in our 60s and kind of still rocking it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. The look is on. It's fierce. You know what you're doing. So the sisterhood that you gain, well, the street worker side, the sisterhood that you gain, do you find, because you were around the era where AIDS potentially could have been affecting a lot of the community, and as almost a lost community is what people like to call it. So because of that situation with your sisters, do you hold them a lot closer? You guys have been through so much together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were always cautious about But how we looked after ourselves and didn't do things really that jeopardised our health. And saying that, yeah, we had fun doing what we were doing.
Yeah. Do you feel like you get or you got the support, the right support from your whānau that you needed throughout the time, and how important is that to have a strong whānau support system?
I consider myself one of the lucky ones. My family were always around me, and I knew I could be upfront with them. Because a lot of the girls that I know, some of them not around anymore, didn't have that. They were disowned, kicked out of home.
Yeah.
So I consider myself very lucky to have had my family around me.
It's very important, isn't it? Because it's it's particularly when you're first beginning your transition, just how much you need them in your life.
Yeah. It makes it so much easier to navigate.
Yeah, and it makes you a stronger human being. Yeah. And that's what when I first met you, I was like, this is a strong wahine Māori.
And I think that's why I could always count on my siblings. They were always there. I got a few cousins that were there too. Yeah. Well, street life. Living on the street, depending on the street actually, was a bit dicey, of course. But our household, we lived in a household.
Okay.
We didn't have names like the household, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
We just survived, went to work, make sure our rent is paid and stuff like that. Sometimes it didn't get paid. But we got through that. We shared clothes, we shared hair if we had some, or we shared everything. The police, there were a few sketchy moments when there was something going on around the street. They come and drag us out of bed, down to the station. I suppose there was a line-up. But all in all, in reflection, those are good days. We became close when it was harder, when things got harder. But yeah, we made it through those times. And there's still a few of us around that, went through all the same thing, living in households of, at one stage we had 10 people living in our 2-bedroom flat.
10? Goodness. I can just see people sleeping in the
That way.
Yeah. Oh, marae style.
But it was, we done marae, eh?
Yeah.
So just turned our homes into maraes until that person got on their feet and moved. Well,
Was it easy to come out of that?
No, I must when I changed a little bit, went away from living, depending on the street. Yeah, I missed the camaraderie, the sisterhood. But you've got to move on, evolve.
Yeah. Growth is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful answer. That's the backstory section.
The what story?
Oh, your backstory. That was the...
Oh, are we coming up to date now?
We're getting there. Is it?
Not quite. I mean, maybe you can just run through about your transition journey, whatever you feel comfortable talking about it, and just telling us how you completed that, I guess, the physical part of it by 78? Maybe something, is that correct?
No, 78 would have been before I
That was,
transitioned.
that was when your father...
When I left home. My transitioning started 1979-ish, late 1979. I was already in a relationship, and he helped me go through the transition.
Okay.
We were working together at a little small goods place in Wellington. I didn't know anything about hormones until I started meeting other girls, and we used to share hormones. Because back then we thought the most unspring girl can go in and get us something and we can all share them. So yeah, that was our mentality back then. Later to learn, no, you can go and get them yourselves. But early, starting on hormones. You know, you try and take 10 when you're only supposed to take 2, thinking you'll wake up the next day with some, and they were the best yucky. I was told by the doctor not to take them because they were so chalky and no good for the blood system. Blocks the veins and all the chalk in them.
And that was what you all were doing, was sharing.
Sharing.
Okay. Okay. And I think I know you had transitioned at the time that Kotha was talking about. But could you speak to that when you saw your...
Well, I came to Auckland. We came to, come and have a look at Auckland. Wow, we were down Customs Street or Fort Street, just having, mingling with ourselves, talking. And I just happened to look out the window and I saw these people go past and I recognised one of them was my first cousin. I got all excited and just ran out and called out to her. She came back, oh my God. Well, she went home and told my mum and them that she had seen me, and I was wearing a dress and high heels.
Okay.
And that's how I was outed to my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a discussion?
I didn't hold anything against her for doing that.
Yeah.
And that's how.
That's how you were revealed to your partner. What was there? Was there a discussion at that particular point?
With my parents?
Yeah.
Well, I never really saw them for another couple of years. Yeah. Came home, had away at my sister's house, and then my sister goes, come on, let's go and see. And Mum and Dad came over. Mum, she just looked at me and cried, and, I said, give me a hug. My father walks in and says, who's that in Māori? And I answered him. He went quiet, but an hour later he was fabulous. Yeah.
It's our time there. They just need time.
They just need time.
Yeah.
And that was my, coming home.
It shows that we can never stray too far from home because it always pulls you back.
Yeah, for sure.
Your tiny back then, the one that helped you through your transition, Do you still see them? Or?
No.
Okay. But they supported you through.
He did. We
Yeah.
were working together, yeah.
Yeah. That's a rare situation, isn't it? From back then, to have your mans be supportive
You know, he was a great
and to
guy.
understand what you're doing. How was he during that time?
I think reality hit because we lived around his family, and yeah, I think it actually hit him that it's not really done. So he kind of went with his family, and that was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Men. How did you meet him?
We
Through
worked
work?
together, actually. Yeah. And then
What was the work?
small goods, small frozen food,
Mm.
yeah, in Wellington. Good job, but not for life.
Yeah. Okay.
I named myself after a friend of mine that I met in Napier. She had an accident. She fell off the boat, and the boat hit the wharf, and she was... Yeah, so I thought, I like that name, Gemmah. And, yeah, that was my tribute to our friendship. But I spelt it different.
Yeah, I was going to say Gemmah with an H. Is that just so it's similar but not? Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I added the H because I thought it just needed something at the end.
Makes it urban.
Well,
unique.
no one else that has that spelling. Yeah, I've never seen
It's
anyone.
authentically you.
That's how I got that name.
Okay. So you've recently moved back from Wellington to Auckland. And so how's it been being back here?
Well, it's a bit of a process, eh? I've been away for 19 months. I went to Wellington to be with my brother, who's my last sibling. I do have a whāngai sister who lives over in Brisbane, but my biological siblings, he's the last.
Okay.
And I was kind of frightened I might lose him, so I gave up my job and my flat and moved to Wellington. Just rang him up. I'm coming to Wellington. I'm coming to live with you.
Oh.
Yeah, because about 2 years ago we had tangies back home and he wasn't up to that, you know. So yeah, I thought I'd go and be with him. And I loved my job. I loved my job at that time.
Well, yes, you were working at Mount Eden.
I was at Odyssey House, yeah, and I was running a group in Mount Eden for trannies that are incarcerated, and I love that.
Yeah. What sort of things did you do?
We mainly got together and biscuits, cup of tea, and just let them talk about how their week's been.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be more structured than that, but yeah.
Okay.
And I got involved with like court appearances, stuff like that, going with
Okay.
them and yeah, going parole board meetings.
Okay. So could you speak to the mahi that before you left to Wellington, the mahi that you did in Mount Eden prison and supporting our girls in there?
Well, I suppose I was a resident of Mount Eden for a while, and during that time I found that there was no support for whakawahine. There was nothing. And I thought, well, that's got to change. That's got to change. So when I got out, I was fortunate to get mixed up with, or come in contact with a headstrong transsexual from Wellington. She headed a health centre for street workers, people that worked on the street. And because I wanted to do support work within the prison, my part was to navigate that, talk to, there was Mount Crawford at that time. I went there, talked to staff in management, and they allowed me to go in and be with girls that were there. I went to Rimataka, but it was all voluntary work, which was fine. And then I moved to Auckland, and things got crazy up here. There were heaps of girls in Mount Eden. And so I started having meetings at the prison, just getting all the girls from all over the prison in one room, cup of tea, biscuits, and I used to just let them talk about how their week's going, you know. And I thought there was the only support I could give them at the time was allowing them to realise that they weren't the only ones going through what they were going through. There were others in the next unit or whatever. Yeah. And I suppose I did that since about 1993, voluntary, and then Serco came around.
Okay.
Wow. They were up for trying anything and everything. They dangled some funding in front of me. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. And they were up for anything, as I said. Unlike their corrections, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, they were totally different. But yeah, during the time at Mount Eden, I was able to, help with the process of girls being able to go to female prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came around, and yeah, we were able to put that into place, which made a lot of difference. Yeah, with having that choice.
So that is a choice now that they're able to go to?
Depending on the crime, you know.
Dependent on the crime?
On the security of the,
Okay. And you were one of those few that were able to support them in that decision? Yeah,
just through what I was doing.
That's amazing.
Giving them feedback and how things were going, and
That's amazing.
Serco was great. Yeah.
You speak to, once they come out, not having a support system in place for them so that they can find housing, getting jobs. What is your hopes for the future for that, to help them get on the right track when they're out?
Well, I've tried it myself. 2000, I got into a relationship with someone. We were looking for a house that could at least have one or two girls come and stay and have somewhere to come from out of prison. And then we've ended up finding a couple of houses out King Seat Way. And I managed to get a house. We were able to have a tranny that was down. And she stayed with us, but we couldn't maintain because we had no funding. We were doing it through our own. But I'd love to. There's a place that I'm going to apply for a job at that has a house for trainees, for the sisterhood. I'd love to marry the two up with
Is this the Mahi with
girls.
Shannon?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, because she does the LBT, their home, and then there's another girl, Nunu, who works at the house for whakawahine.
Mm.
And I want to see if we can marry the prison, and well, what do we have to do to get that happening?
Yeah,
And I'd love to be involved with that.
yeah.
That-
That's a beautiful kaupapa. And
Yeah.
one that-
Or even the girls that are homeless. You know, there's one out there that needs somewhere to live.
Yeah.
If she plays the game and is allowed to come and live at the house, well then, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it's a shame that it's those processes and that kaupapa hasn't already implemented and hasn't been implemented for years. But I suppose somebody like yourself needs to go
I hope
in there and do all
Yeah, go and initiate
the go
something.
and initiate. Yeah.
That's what I hope today.
Yeah. Ooh, how was that? Was that? Did you?
I like
You,
like
you
it.
didn't mind? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. That was great.
Okay.
But I think you played down your role in this a bit, Gemmah. Or maybe you could.
You the Beyonce of this situation. You, come on, give us some.
Well, I don't know. I can't really say that it was my work. I like to think I contributed to it.
Yeah.
When it came to the politics of everything, I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. But you were on the floor.
I was on the floor, and one of the girls that was coming to me to our meetings, she was the kind of guinea pig for it.
Right.
Yeah, and I had to report to management and staff about how she was doing, and do I think it should be her?
Yeah. Who supported you in the aid of getting her to the right prison?
Well, I suppose Suko.
Okay. With their funding.
Yeah.
Okay. And describe your relationship with Serco. Were you volunteering with them, or did they come to you to set up that initiative?
I was volunteering with corrections, but then when Suko came in, they offered me. They said, well, we sat down and talked, and I talked with the programs manager at that time, and she goes, we can do this, we can do that. We can't do this, but we can do that.
Right.
Because I was pushing for mainly things like tweezers, all the necessaries, eh?
Yeah, essentials when you're in there. Yeah.
Cut giving people Wi-Fi's, you know, all those kind of things, just to make life a bit more comfortable for the girls in there.
Yeah. Was it you that, were you the first point of contact for that girl who ended up moving to the female?
Yeah.
So you were the one that sourced that person,
And
got it back to Serco.
got it
and they
back
were the
to,
ones that started
Yeah.
implementing. Speak to
Yeah.
that, please, because that's
Oh.
a big thing. That's a big thing that you did for this girl.
well, for the girls now. Yeah, they have
I'm going to give you your accolades.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went away proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that was the aim of what I was trying to do,
Yeah.
just to make life inside a bit more comfortable for
Yeah.
girls.
In a time when nothing is easy, you made something so much easier for somebody.
I wish it was around when I was there.
Yeah, well, exactly. You're doing what you're doing for those girls, what needed to be done for you, and that's what I call a leader in our community. And I'm so honoured. I'm so honoured that. I'm so honoured that people like you are here with us. Sorry. Sorry, Square.
Okay, Brady.
Oh, God. Sorry. Ahakoa te aha. A beautiful kaupapa as well. How did that come about?
Well, I remember speaking to a friend of ours, Jordan, about, because he was telling me that Big Gay Out was coming up and that they were thinking of getting a group from Wellington.
Okay. Because we didn't have any here.
Yeah, and I went, so we haven't got a group? There's no... And they went, no. I went, wow, there must be people out there. And then also that we lost a sister about that time, and it seemed like we could, at the Tangi Eru house, well, we couldn't gel as sing songs and, you know, karakia or anything like that.
Yeah.
As a community, that was not there. So, yeah, Jade and I went away and talked about forming a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Natasha was an inspiration to that, her death, really. And then Jade and I got together, talked about it, and just started a practice in her garage
Okay.
at her house when she lived up here in Tikanani.
How long had you known Jade and
Oh, yeah, Shannon. I remember meeting her on the Rore. And we went to a nightclub. Yeah. Jade, she came to Wally's and gave us rag fever, and I mean, she plaited long strips of material into our hair, and yeah, that's how we first met.
So, the recent shindig that you had, that I gracefully attended, which was honouring whakawahine, which included the three of you. There was a table of photos of the whakawahine that we have lost in the past. Was Natasha amongst the
Yes.
Who was in that table?
Natasha, who was the inspiration for Ahakoa. Daphne, who was a supporter. Teddy. Teddy.
Mama Teddy.
And Carmen. And Chris Witoko. Icons from Wellington.
Yeah. And so, you're through the foundation of Ahakoa Te Aha has afforded the three of you to be able to put on such fabulous events, by the way. What is the future for Ahakoa Te Aha?
Well, we'd like to think it will grow again. Yeah, because we love, firstly, our culture. We love singing, being together, and letting our community know that we're there, and if we can support, we will.
This is going back, but can you please explain the kaupapa of Ahakoa Te Aha? What is it?
I think the kaupapa of Ahakoa Te Aha is in the name. The name says it all.
Yes.
Ahakoa Te Aha means no matter what, who. I think it's a wero to people, or a challenge, even an invite. Yeah, that's the simple meaning of Ahakoa Te Aha. No matter what, no matter who.
So, in its heyday, what were you getting up to?
Oh, we were doing a lot of pōwhares and supporting the AIDS Foundation, because they were very supportive of Ahakoa. They allowed us to use their building in College Hill. And if we did something, a pōwhare or something, they came with a koha, always gave us a koha. So yeah, they were really great supporters of Ahakoa.
How many members do you have?
Well,
At the time, because we'll talk about it.
on Facebook we have about 70. At one time, the actual performing group was maybe 40 or 50.
That's
Yeah.
a fabulous number.
But everyone, everyone's growing, got lives, taking them out of Auckland, So our numbers have dwindled, but yeah, we're still there.
So this is a ploy to all takatapui in Auckland that want to be a part of this beautiful rōpū to come join, keep it flowing. We need people we need groups like this to show that protocol has been done correctly and a place to be invited and welcome. Sorry, I had to do a plug for you.
We have a page.
Yes. What's the page?
Ahakoa Te Aha. He
Say it.
tangata, he tangata, he tangata.
Okay. There you go. There you go. So hopefully we can get it boosting back up
Yes,
and flourishing.
that'd be lovely.
Can we just I just feel we need a bit of a sort of summary of when the group was formed, when was its heyday, where it's at now, just kind of something like that.
Well, to me, I think it's been in existence for about at least 10 years. I don't remember the actual, hang on, 8 or 9 years. We got our name from an ex-member, or not an ex-member, just not a performing member, Maihi, and he now lives in Kaitaia. And I was the so-called tutor at that time, when we were beginning, and I asked everyone there was at practice to go away and think of a name, come back. And then the following week, he presented, we all presented our suggestions, and as soon as he said, Ahakoa Te Aha, I went, yes,
Yeah.
there's more than one thing to that name. It was a wero, invitation, a challenge. Yeah.
Where is it at today?
Where is it at today? Our numbers are very few, performing numbers, we are very few. But we're still just as busy.
Yeah. You've got Big Day Out coming very
This
soon.
Sunday.
This Sunday. Are you nervous?
Yeah and no. I'm more nervous about who's going to show up. But if it's just 6 of us on stage, we'll just have to sing louder and haka louder or whatever.
Louder and prouder.
Yeah.
Have you got your sister?
You can jump on with us.
I'll be the one at the back. But
Yeah,
once I
that's
learn it all,
fine.
I will be in the front.
The race is on.
The race is on. What's your function in the ropu? Like, what do you do specifically?
I'm treasurer
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guitarist.
Mm-hmm. You keep that beat.
Sometimes tutor, sometimes anything. Yeah.
So when you come in, it's almost it's a community of just pitching in, almost like a
Yeah,
Marae, isn't it?
basically.
Yeah.
No one's the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all just, whatever you can put in, fabulous.
Yeah. Just sharing your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Can I go back one question?
Yes.
If you don't mind. Back to the shindig, and just because so we've got lots of images there of all the people that
Yeah.
you being there, and what it must have been like on that night, because it was a very special night.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Me too.
The venue was right up there, eh?
Yeah.
I thought it
very
was beautiful.
decadent.
My focus was to play host. There was our job, the committee's job, to host everyone, not to get drunk or anything like that. Just make sure that everyone was looked after and like we spoke to them. Yeah.
Was it a successful night, in your opinion?
Well, yes, we had different age groups of girls talking to each other,
Yeah.
and that's what we wanted,
Yeah.
because it's about information sharing, and that's what we need to get together and maybe talk about how we've navigated certain scenarios in life and
Yeah.
pass it on, and that's what we need, because no one else is going to do it for us.
Yeah. I think in my experience of being there, like, it introduced me to the whānau. Like, it introduced me to the whānau that have been staples in our community, and being able to break bread with them is something that's very rare. It's very rare, because I find sometimes our generations kind of just lock into their own generations, our own generations, and we don't get a chance to mingle and
Well,
be
it's not
together.
an intentional thing, eh?
Yeah.
We're comfortable around who we know, and
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was great because there were a few generations there.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame that, because there were other girls that couldn't make it, like quite a few because of the flooding and everything. We had a few girls from up north that couldn't come, and from down Gazee and round that area, Hastings.
But you did have a great pool of whakawahine from different countries,
Yeah.
even Australia.
Yeah. And there were certain ones that made it from those areas that, it was a good night.
Successful.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
Successful, and that everyone had fun, and that you had fun.
And it put Te Rōpū Awhina whakawahine out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Just one last question about the Kapahaka group. Just maybe if you could explain, Gemmah, why the numbers have dwindled. What's happened?
I think it's just life in general, taking them away from Auckland, a lot of them, which is fine, They could move back here.
They could.
They always can come back. Yeah.
Fresh blood as well. So wouldn't that be a lovely thing?
Aye, sis.
Aye. Now, I joined the rehearsal, which was...
Oh, wow, you looked really comfortable when you got
I
up and
know.
done the action song. Oh,
It
wow.
was- that was-
And singing. Oh, Chad, this
They were like,
girl.
how do I? I was like, no. Hi.
Yeah.
It's just what
I
you
went,
do.
this girl's done this before. Because I didn't know nothing about you, actually, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I go home and then I see that thing on Facebook where you're sitting on the bed singing Xanadu. Oh, you can shut up.
I'm coming for
That
that
was
front
cool.
row. I'm coming for the front row.
Can you bring someone that with you that plays the guitar?
So you can be in the front
Yeah.
row with me?
Right beside you.
Fine, absolutely.
You had your teas at practice.
That's true.
What are your hopes for the performance coming up on Sunday?
That it goes well. That it goes well. Because we just got to do our best. Yeah, put our best foot forward and do the job.
And with you, Shannon and Jade in the helm, I think it's going to go to Mick.
You know, we'll get there for sure. Thank you.